Hello everyone, this is Matt from Drackware, and I'm going to walk you through tracking down this weird Arduino bug that I had to deal with. So we're using the RTClib from Adafruit, and we're using Paul Stoffrigen's time library. And we're just going to do a really simple sketch. We're going to define a new time t, which is just a Unix timestamp, an unsigned long, and it should be equivalent to June 18th, 2019 at 8:27 p.m. And we're just going to print that timestamp and then use the little helper functions here to print the different pieces of it. So let's try that out. We're going to compile it, upload to our Adafruit Metro board, and we should get, there we go, June 18th, 2019, 8:27. Okay, no problems. So now, if we uncomment this line and we initialize a new datetime object, we're not doing anything with it, we're just initializing it. Let's upload that to the Metro and see what happens. Okay, so something's gone wrong. We're in the 13th month of 2019 and we're on the 140th day of that month. So what is going on here? Let's check out the code. First, for the time library, we're calling this month function here and we're getting 13, which shouldn't happen. So let's scroll down to month and see what that does. So month, when we give it a time t, just refreshes the cache and then returns tm.month. Now, tm is in a structure that just has the components split out. So month, day, weekday, hours, minutes, seconds. So let's go find refresh cache. And that just, we have a cached time and then we give it a new time, and if that's different, it runs break time. So let's go down to break time. So break time is just going to take our new time input and then break it into these elements. So second, minute, hour, weekday, the year, and then we're going to do some calculations to figure out if it's a leap year and how many days are in the month. So we end up, the key here is this, month days. So we have this array, month days. It's a static const uint8, no weird stuff there, and it's just the number of days in each month, from January to December. So that's fine. So why, when we initialize this date time, does it mess it up? So let's go look at the date time. So in our date time constructor, we do pretty much the same thing. We're taking a time t and then breaking it into seconds, minutes, hours, days. We're checking if it's a leap year, and then we're getting the days in the month. But to do that, we're using program read byte from this days in month array. So let's find that. Okay, so the number of days in each month is days in month. Same array as the other one, January through December, number of days. This one is stored in progmem. So this is stored in the code space in Flash rather than being stored in RAM like the other one. This array in time is going to be stored in RAM at runtime. And this one in RTClib is stored in the Flash. To read from the Flash, we need to use program read byte. We can't use it like a regular array. You need to use this program read byte function. So let's dig a little deeper and see what's actually going on when we compile this. I'm going to uncomment datetime here and make sure I'm getting that weird result still. Yep, that's weird. 13 months. Okay, 140 days in the month. Very strange. So I need to know where that's being saved. So I'm going to go to the preferences for the Arduino IDE, and I'm going to show verbose output when it compiles. So now if I compile it again, it's going to show me everything it's doing and where it's saving all of these files. So I'm in app data local temp, and this elf file is what I want to look at. So I've already opened this up in a hex editor. So let me refresh my file here. So we've got an elf file, which you can see that elf header there, and this is all the compiled machine code. And what we want to do is we want to search for this array. We should have two of them. We should have this days in month, and we should have month days. So let's search. And we need to search in hex, so we're going to convert 31 becomes 1F, 28 is 1C, etc. So let's search for this. Okay, so there's our array. And we should have another one, so I'm going to hit F3 to search again. Huh. And it can't find it. So we've got 2 in our code, but only 1 ends up in the final compiled product. So what is going on here? Well, let's do a little experiment. Let's alter our RTClib array. I'll do this in the IDE. So I'm going to change the number of days in December to 0xAA so that it's really obvious if we see that somewhere. And then I'm going to recompile this. So now I've got days in month with AA, and I've got month days with no AA. That should still be 31. So now if I go back to the file that we were hex editing, let me refresh this, and let me run this search again. Okay, so there's our array, and it ends with AA. So we've got the AA days in December. So now let me search again. I'm going to hit F3. Aha! And here's our second array. So now we have 2. So this one I'm looking at now is the array from time. This is month days that ends in 1F. And the other one is from RTClib. It ends in AA. So what happened here is that the compiler is helping us. Since we have 2 arrays that were the same, when they're exactly the same, the compiler sees that. It sees you have 2 arrays, they're the same size, and they have the same values. So it says, hey, I'll save you 12 bytes, and we'll just get rid of one of those. And both of these will point to the same array. However, it doesn't take into account that one is stored in progmem, and the other one's stored in RAM. So when you go to access it, everything messes up. So what can we do about this? Well, you just saw if we change one array, it fixes it, because now we've got those 2 separated. And if I run that, let's go back here and run it again. Hey, now we have a date time declared and we've got the correct output. So that fixes it, but we've got AA days in December and we don't want that. So what we can do is anything to change what the compiler is seeing. So the compiler sees 2 identical arrays of the same length. So let's just add a 0 onto the end. So now we have a fake month with 0 days. And let's upload that one, see if we're still working. Okay, still works. So anything to change and trick the compiler into not optimizing that out, we'll do it. I hope you enjoyed looking at this bug with me. Just remember that it's never the compiler, except once in a while it actually is.